Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Monday, July the 19th. And we've seen, we never got our strong closing on the Friday. So straight away we realized that, well, Friday's not going to be bullish. Well, then Monday's not going to be bullish. So the count that we've had is not going to be bullish either. And we've got further to go down because we were looking at 1 and 2 here and then 1 and 2 to this point here, and then expecting it to move up higher, looking for support within group 2 here, but it's come down here. And it was good to see that got quite a lot of emails saying that well, Pete, it's dropped lower, Friday's not going to close strong. So it's good that folks recognize when a mistake is made. Obviously I've made a mistake, and we're going to discuss that and talk about it and learn from that. So yeah, it was just good to see that folks recognize that that Friday wasn't going to be bullish, and would be expecting further downside at that point. So that's good. So apart from that, the error that I've made, we need to basically have a look at it. And this is a 1 hour chart that we're looking at. And I think it was on Friday we were looking at this chart too, which is not 100 ticks, it's 10 ticks. Sometimes I drop it down to 20 ticks, but sometimes 10 ticks. So what I just want to point out here is that I was looking for wave 1 and wave 2 here. So is it possible that we could put wave C of 2 over here for this, and in this move here as a C wave coming down here as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 to finish this off here? Possibly, but it just throws this count out here, so it's not likely to the case. So from this top here, I can count this down as well as a move down anyway, and then a wave B back. And this is how we were counting it, as 1 and 5 waves down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A bit of an overlap here for wave C of 2. But now what this does here, this leaves us from the top here, it leaves us basically this wave, and 5 waves here. So really, we'd have to look at it. Well, we could look at it as an A wave, an A, B, C here for a larger A wave here. So if I remove the wave 2 here, we could put it as an A wave here, and then have a B wave here, and then a C wave moving down further, and having it 1 and 2 and 3 down here somewhere. I haven't pulled that apart here, but a wave 4 and a wave 5 to bring us down closer to the 4,300 sort of area. But because this cannot be a wave 1 now and a wave 2 here, even to here, because of the structure that we've created, what the market's created here of an A and a B and a C wave here. So in one way or another, this move down through here now needs to be a wave 4 of 1 degree or another. It could be a larger wave 4, but it's not that wave 1 and 2 that I was expecting. So we're probably more in line with the NASDAQ count that I've had. We were looking at the top here being wave 3 that can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So back, the NASDAQ can pull back towards the 14,500. So this count here that I've got, and also the S&P 500 count that we had on our charts on Friday, looking for that top there, was obviously correct, and this one wasn't correct. So we need to we need to understand this a little bit better. So yeah, just here I'm pointing out that we can't have it as 1 and 2 here. It has to be some type of wave 4 coming down here based on the current structure that we have so far in this space here, because a wave 2 is a zigzag pattern, and a zigzag pattern is a 5 wave structure for wave 2. So 5 waves with 3 waves and then 5 waves down past that point. So this first wave here has only really got an A wave, a B wave and a C wave to that point, because this is pulled back up 61.8% roughly from this particular high here. So I can't be in a wave 2, got to be in a wave 4 of some description. So just bringing that out the way. So yeah, I can't really even I can't bring wave 2 lower down here to the 78.6, the square root of 61.8%, based on this particular structure in here. So that's sorted out a little bit. We're probably looking at something like this here. We could also have this as a blue wave 3 too, like the NASDAQ. So we'll need to talk about that as well. Yeah, so in this case here, we're looking at, if we had blue wave 3 and 4 here, then 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and then going up for 5. Now, the only other way to bring this into play here is to bring this big wave 3 here and the blue one on top here, but I'm not happy with that, because if I go back out to 1 week just for the big picture here, so I'm pretty happy with wave 3, an A and a B and a C for wave 4. This has not been the best wave 1 up through here, and maybe that's where the problem is there as such. So my problem so far though is bringing this wave 3 down to here, just shooting the breeze here, and having wave 4 here. It means that the length of wave 1 here, this wave 1 here, right, makes the wave 3 too small here, which is okay, but it would make this wave 5 here much smaller at that point. So I feel doing that, I'm grasping at straws a little bit in that regard, so bringing that wave 3 down there. So I could say that it's possible, but I think it's kind of a bit of a last resort. We may have to go to that point, but like I said, it would be like a last resort. So I still want to see this wave 3 extend out a little bit. I know that, you know, there's inflation concerns at the moment with the market. So yeah, but let's just work through this bit by bit. So I'm just going to push that back up, but on the daily chart, this is what that would look like here. It would look like we've got this big wave 3 top in play here already at this point. So it would have wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, and wave 4 here. That can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree within this space as well here. So it's possible to have this as wave, you know, wave 3, 4 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, squashing all that up there, making that rather sort of small and squashy. So I'm not that sort of pleased with it. One of the things here that I can see is that in terms of the trading levels, we've got a medium level here, wave 4. We've never really had a good correction across this level, which always really sort of bothered me. It's just like we went straight through, and normally when we just go straight through like this, the distance above here would be the distance below that it would come back again. But obviously that's going to be too low for it to come back here. But one of the steps that we could just monitor for a little while is the top of group 1 here. So I know that we would only turn further bearish if the number 2 here became the resistance. It's okay, as I say sometimes, just it's done it over here actually. So it's okay for it to spike down to 5, which is normally either 8 or 5 here, and then recover from that point. So that's what I want to see, but one step at a time. You know, if this became the retested resistance here, then the trend would be, the upside trend here would be over at that point. Would be going back below the 4,000 if that 42 became the resistance at that point. So that's one thing that we could look at. The second thing, rather the first thing to look at, is this number here. I thought we may have had support here, secured this level because we moved up and we came back and we checked it. It was a bit of a small check and not also a very nice pattern here as well. But it did make a new high here, so I sort of went with it. But now that it's coming back to check it again, I think we're going to be working with this level. Now, this can be a good thing because if we do come back below the level here and then find support on this level, then we can use that to go long again here. So I think that we just really monitor what's going to occur here. We know that we'll probably end up a little bit further back down here, and just coming back to the tick chart for one moment. Even in very simple terms, this move here is wave 1 and 2 here, and probably wave 3 is down here somewhere. Probably wave 4 here, maybe, let me just check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there, maybe the 5 waves, but maybe something like this here. So if we allow that to play out first and just see how that goes. Let's see if we go past that particular point, then we can concern ourselves, and that will bring us down at the 4-3 at that point. We'll also have a look at stock as well, of course, and we'll see how that sort of folds in with the market as well. Just emphasizing that a bit more there. So that 4-3 is going to be important, and this little move here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down here will be what Monday is going to be all about. But we want to see if we get a turn after this. I mean, we will get a turn, but yeah, what's it going to look like, and are we going to get any further downside? So yeah, the takeaway for the indices or for the S&P is, let's just allow this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish here, and let's see what it looks like on this side of the fence. Because coming back to here, we can have this top in play here, which will make things much messier, and just make wave 3 shorter at that point too. So I think I'll just relax a little bit and just see if we've got something of this nature here for this. So looking all at this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then looking at this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, and we'll see how the fourth wave plays out at 4-3. And if there's going to be any move down past those little 5 waves that I've just mentioned in here, so we're just looking for a little fourth wave and a fifth wave to come in here, and let's just see how that plays out and see if we've got this wave 4 in play at this point. So yeah, I just think let's just wait and gather a little bit more information before coming to any sort of conclusions on the S&P and the NASDAQ here. We're still looking that to come down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. So this also needs to play out a little bit further down here as well. So let's just keep a bit of an eye on that as well. I mean, if this had rallied it's rallied 50-60%. If it had only rallied 32% through here somewhere, then we could have viewed this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down here, and then an A and a B and a C wave, and then another 5 down here to finish that off like that. But because it rallied back to the 50-60% mark, it's possible to have this wave 4 in place here, and if not, well, then we'll have to look at it over here for that. Now the Russell has come down a bit further as well, so we need to talk about that. So I thought that it might be an A wave here, a B wave up here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it looks like we're getting more structure here. I think it was on the hourly chart that we had. this, yeah. So I was looking at this as wave 1 up here with an A wave here, a B wave here, and then looking 5 waves down for the C wave here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down to here. So I guess it just depends on how you count this. If we call that the top here, then that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then we've got this extra wave here. If we count this as the top over here for this, then that would be 1 and 2 and 3, which makes it kind of nicer in a way, because that's kind of longer here for nice third wave. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But the same thing is cooking here as well. I would imagine that there's a little 3, 4 to go in here. If we go past this here, then we'll need to, once we go past this, then we'll need to look at this, we'll need to look at all of this differently at this point. Okay, and if we're going to look at it differently, then we need to go back to the daily chart. And there's a couple of things here we could do. We could look at, well, this little move up here where we've got wave 1 and we're looking for an A and a B and a C back here. That might be quite good. I mean, we've got the stochastics, which is really low down here, so that's a real possibility at that point. So it wants to snap back, right? Otherwise, would need to, the logical thing would be calling this all still part of wave 4, because the only other way to go about this is by putting wave 5 on this top of this little move here, which hasn't made a high above here. So that would be a long shot, and then putting wave 3 here and looking at this as wave 4. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. That's a little bit desperate. So we'll let the wave 2 scenario play out, and if not, then we'll expect the market down here lower. And in this case, the 38.2% is at the lower end of that, so that's down at 22,040. But the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree is basically over here, a little bit higher. So we'll just see how that plays out. But we were looking for long trades in this. We were looking above here and then above here, but we're just not. They just haven't been triggered in line with the general market. So we've got that weakness, and that's going to play out across the markets, so to speak. So with the NASDAQ here, it's going to be kind of interesting, because if it just comes to this point and then moves up from that point, well, then that's pretty much what stocks are going to do, isn't it? You know, otherwise they're going to move up and come back down and then move up from that point. We knew that we would have a reaction from the 15, and we're getting that. And the normal thing is to come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then have the first high above the level. So we do need to understand this a little bit more. But like I said, with the S&P, we just wanted to see it finish off first, and then we can pick that up. So this wave 3 here will become quite important in a lot of cases in stocks. So let's just move these out of the way. And Amazon is one of them. So we can start with that here. And this is obviously the daily chart for Amazon. And if we've got wave 4 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 here and 2 here, then I was counting this up through here. We could count it up and put the blue wave 3 on the top here, but that kind of wouldn't make a lot of sense either, would it? Because, well, if we grabbed wave 3 here and put that there, we could count this as 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. Like 5 waves going up there, and putting blue wave 3 there and having blue wave 4 there, but we've hardly gone past wave 1 there. So it's like, well, that doesn't feel right as such. So that's why I've had this looking a little bit different here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, because we need to get this wave 3 up here somewhere realistically, you know. So, but the little wave 3 that I've had here, it doesn't appear to be right, because we've moved through the wave 4 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level in there for that. So that's not going to be right at that point. So it's like, how do we count this now? And first of all, how far is this going to come down from this particular point as well? I mean, this move to the upside is certainly not finished. It's just, how do I count it? And I'm not quite sure just yet about this. So let's go to the tick chart and have a bit of a look. This is where we were last time we spoke. We were looking at this as, let's just clear this up here a little bit. We're looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 here, because, you know, well, we've got to travel some distance, but this has just pulled back a little bit too low here now for this here. So we can start looking at this here. So from the top here, we've got 5 waves here, probably an A and a B and a C here, and then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we could just about have this. Well, it just depends on how we want to count this now, you know. Of course, I can count as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to this point here, and we can just turn up from, you know, probably a little bit more of a low here. But it does make this wave 4 a little bit low here. So I just need to give this a little bit of thought. It won't be going very far, and we'll also be getting a bounce off the 3-5 here as well for this. So it's just, yeah, how do we count this is what I've got to ponder over, and I want to have a look at the other stocks as well, which is what we're going to be doing now with this. So let's just move this out of the way. And this is Alphabet here, so slightly different from Google's price. So yeah, we're looking at well, wave 1 here and wave 2 in the bigger picture. And then I was counting 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave. I'm going up for the fifth wave here to this wave third here. This big wave 3 here. So I don't think there's much of a change here, and I don't really think that I need to do anything here. It's pretty clear here. We've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for 1 and 2. And then this would make the third wave here. 1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, no, I have to go to the tick chart now to check on that. I was just thinking about putting this blue wave 3 on the top there. Is that possible in this case? 100 ticks is where we've been working. So I think it's a bit like this. So from here we've got 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, all the way up here for the fifth to make wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave. So I think that this does, from the top there, this does appear to be impulsive, where we've got that strong wave in the middle here, so that would leave 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 here. So I think we'll probably do a little rally here and then come back and test the 2-5 on this here, which will be roughly the wave 4, 1 lesser degree, and then push up from that point. I don't see any problems here. I mean, obviously that 5 waves here can turn into an A and a B and a C, or it could turn into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and get bigger. But I don't think we need to go there yet unless we've got this we expect a spike through the 2-5. But if it became the resistance, then there would be a problem at that point. But I just don't see this being finished just yet. It is possible, in line with the NASDAQ, to put the wave 3 here for this, I guess, but it's kind of forcing it a little bit. I don't want to go there just yet. And also too, this wave 1 that I've got here, the length of this wave 1 here compared to the wave 3 that we need, we still need to see the blue wave 3 up at the 2650 area, unless I'm missing something here and there's something that I'm not seeing. But in the meantime, I'd expect a little A and B and C wave here for Alphabet. So for Apple, we knew that once we get to the 150, we would be seeing a reaction from that space, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. If I, is it like with the NASDAQ again, have I done something wrong, and should we be putting blue wave 3 there? Because these things move in the, when I close the platform, but this is basically what I was looking at here with this. But when we go to the daily chart, just to have a bigger view here on this, just to get the right perspective. So I'm just looking for any weakness, basically, because we've seen weakness in the, we're expecting it in the NASI, we're expecting it in stocks like this, you know, hitting on levels, big numbers here, but the S&P sort of caught me off guard a little bit. So I'm just sort of checking here. But if this is wave 4 here with wave 1 and 2 here, is it possible to bring this blue wave 3 down to this point here? Possibly, but we don't want blue wave 4 overlapping the top of blue wave 1 here, and that's the 38.2% retracement level, just based on from that point there for this. So if I just consider all of that, the third wave there, looking at the worst case scenario, the 38.2% retracement comes in at this point. So we can expect to see further weakness from this point. But I think just one step at a time. This old high here is going to, and this consolidation in here is going to give us some support here at the 145. So I think that we just work with that to start with at the 145. So you know your levels. If we work backwards, it's 8, 5, and 3. So we can see here that what can we see here? I mean, obviously I can see, let me just start from the beginning here. I'd have to look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the A wave here, if I can bring that across. We've got our B wave in here, and I'm just thinking if there are 5 waves in there, a bit of a struggle. This is corrective, so it will come down here further, but it's also part of this structure as well. So we could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Bit of a long shot, but otherwise it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So I can see that this has got to come down further. I can see that there's really good support here, so I'll just wait for that as well. Yeah, everything's going pretty much as expected to this point. It can move down lower here, that's the thing. So we'll just get a bit of an idea about this. This is probably the third wave in here that's not finished. So there'll probably be, if it was going to do anything, it would come back to this level after it bounces on the 145 and then poke down again as well. Lots of important numbers here, but they'll all slow the market down a little bit. So let's just give this a couple of sessions and just see where it is. We should be able to pluck the third wave out of that. I don't know if the third wave starts from here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. We'll just need to do a little bit of work on that, but there's no real surprises here for Apple. And Square, this is just a tick chart for Square. We haven't looked at it for a while, but in terms of a bearish count for this, we could label this wave A here, wave B on the top here, and then wave C coming down here a little bit further. So I was hoping that it was already done and dusted off this particular point here, and it certainly may be. I'm just looking at the worst case scenario at the moment. So we could even just get one more move down here for that. If that's the top there, then we've got this as 1 and 2 here, then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, some sort of ABC for the fourth wave and down for the fifth wave. So it's possible for it to move down in line with further weakness for the short term, but yeah, but apart from that, and I suppose it also depends on how we count this here. I've counted this here as 1 ABC for 2 here, and then 3 and 4 here for this. Not quite an overlap here, so that's all okay. And then the fifth wave here, I mean, maybe we don't include this here and we just go wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here. But the third wave here, it's got form in it and it's long enough, I guess, it's possible. We'll just see that would make that wave 4 there. And then we wouldn't want to see an overlap of wave 1 here. But I think I'll just stay with this for the time being. Yeah, so we could expect further weakness here, but we don't have to because it's probably... I have to pull that apart further. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh no, that would count as a B wave to that point, yeah. So an A wave, a B wave, and then the C wave will be 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3, and ABC for 4 and 5 here. So yeah, look, it's reluctantly wanting to move down, but anyway, not a big deal here. We're still looking at the upside. So in a nutshell, the markets are still bullish. It's just that we're going to go through a bit of a larger correction with this. And Facebook. So this is not panning out very nicely either. And I think I may have mentioned too that, wave 2 would have a zigzag pattern, which will be for the A wave, we need 5 waves and then 3 waves and 5 waves here. So we don't really have a 5-wave structure in this one here. So it's likely that we're in some sort of 4th wave here for this. So yeah, we're looking at this being the low, but this is not 5 waves up here. This is 3 waves up, so it's corrective. So we'll be coming down further for this. I'd counted this down as 1 and 2 here, and forgetting about the spike here and looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for that. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, but that's not going to play out like that. So we're going to look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and the 3rd wave and the 4th wave. So it does appear that we'll go lower here for this, and it'll take us into this area here. So from 20 to 30, that's where that will take us on that. If I just go back to the daily chart to have a look at the bigger picture for a moment. This is a daily chart for Facebook. You can see how far the stochastics and how fast it's moved down here. We've got a bit of lagging on the other one, but it'll still give us 2 days of testing a little bit lower here for this. The trend is still really intact here. It's just that I've probably counted it wrong. Okay, so I need to figure out what that is, but the gun is getting loaded here for this. So I would imagine that we will be down into the 33 area here, the 320 area, 330 area here for that. So we're going to have to move this wave 1 here and this wave 2 here because that's not correct. We've got something else going on here, but I don't think we need to panic about it either. I think that it's just down. I think we come down to these lows here and then move up from this point, and we'll probably have to look at, I'm not quite sure, I need to do some work on it, but yeah, I'm happy with this count here because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here for this. But it's probably the problem is probably in here somewhere, so I'll need to investigate that. But once again, I wouldn't turn bearish in this market unless the 320 became the resistance. So I wouldn't call a top in here. Sure, a short-term top, and I've got to get the wave count right, but the 320 here, that would need to become the retested resistance before I called, from this wave 4 here, some orange wave 5 top in through here. And it doesn't look like it can be finished like that. Sure, we could look at this as 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 here and going up for 5 here. But even so, it doesn't really give us that finishing off here because we've got 1 and 2 here and a third wave in here, and a fourth and a fifth, and then we've got this other bit. So it's not finished. It's just how we go about doing, how I go about labeling it is the question. Of course, the long trade would be above this top here on that, but we're not going to be there just yet for that. So we just have to wait for this to sink in lower at this point. And that brings us to Tesla as well. We've had Tesla as wave 1 up here and wave 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2. I'm still kind of okay with this. I just want to give it another session to see if it can find itself on the 650. It didn't get up there before. We were looking for a bit of a long trade there, so that wasn't occurring. So we'll put that over here for this. This does appear to be impulsive here. So we'll just wait on this as well. I'll just give it another session. Obviously, it could be weaker. I don't want to change it just yet. This is where we left off on Friday, so I'll leave it here. I want to see if we can get some support on the 650 before we make any decisions. Of course, if this low here gets breached, then there's definitely a problem at that point, and we'll need to reorganize all of this. But we know with Tesla, we've been looking at a bearish count and a bullish count, so we'll need to go back out for that to the bigger picture, but it's not there. It's not there yet. Okay, so that's that for the US markets. Yeah, so just to recap a little bit on the S&P here. We've either got the count that's on our website, right, which put on there on Friday, and this is one of the counts here, or we've got a larger top in play here. So I just think we'll give it a session or two. Now, Monday will follow through on Friday. We know that. So we caught, even though I got it wrong, I feel like it was okay in a way because we caught the problem and everybody understood the problem as soon as we made a new low below here, and Friday wasn't closing strong. So even though we got it wrong, and when I say we, I'm talking about because I could see that many people recognized that because Friday didn't close strong or wasn't looking strong, then you knew you had a problem. So well done on that. I think we managed it quite well. Now we just got to figure out what we've got here, so we're going to do that over the next 2 sessions and give it a bit more thought. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.